Welcome to Retro Skill Modelling. This is part 9 of DeAgostini's Star Wars Millennium Falcon build. Scale is approximately 1:72. In this part, it's much the same in the previous parts. I've got some more corridors to build and extending the framework. So let's jump into this and see how we get on. Starting off with issue 25, and there's another small corridor to make up. This one has a narrower base to it, so there's not much to it, but there's quite a lot of work involved again. So I'm just removing the cushions or the padded areas from the sprue before fitting it. Each one is slightly different and will only fit one way, so it's important that I got them all in order. So before I put them on, I'm just cleaning them up. As you can see there, each one does have their own location points. It was better that I dry fitted these before I put them in as well, even though I've cut them off the sprue in order. It just stops any confusion going down the line. And the four sections are basically the same. Also, there's a left and right, but I'll be doing the exact same thing with the other two. And once that's done, you can see I've just put the last one in now to complete this section. And on to issue 26. And this issue will be carrying on with the corridor, but working mainly on the actual base. So on the base, I'm using Humbrol's dark grey wash to fill in the panel lines. And like before, I'm just spotting it onto the panel line so the capillary action takes it down the line. I've said this before, but I'm not worried about the sharpness of this. When I wipe it with the kitchen towel, that streaking effect I do actually want, and I'm going to enhance that as well to give the floor that used scruffy look. And to enhance it, it's Tamiya's Withering Master Series C, and I'm using the gunmetal component here with my brush sharpener, and I'm just going lightly over the panel area to the sides and that, again highlighting the dirt and grime that's actually going to be on the floor. Next, to build up the corridor, the location points in here again are like the cushions. They will only really fit in one way. The instructions don't tell you to cement these in place, but I think it's wise to do so to give it more of a rigid state to it. And once the walls are in, it's a simple case of placing the ceiling on. Again, with the location points, a little bit tricky to put these in because I didn't want to put too much pressure on the wall, but I had to jiggle it around a little bit just to get it to fit, but it did fit in the end. Overall, it worked out quite well. With the ceiling on, it's quite rigid now. On to issue 27. So I've got another corridor to build, a small one here, and extending the framework as well. So first of all, I've got to attach the base. Now I've treated that like the other base with the wash and the panel lines, and this base is held on with little screws. So I'll just place them in. When I'm placing in these screws, I don't tighten them up too much. I just put them in as a placeholder until all four are in, and I'm happy with the position before tightening them up. And now for the panels. So if you watched the previous videos, you'll know what's going on here. I'm just cleaning them up, then place them into the location points. Like the other ones, it's important to make sure you get them into the location points because there's connective issues going on to this. So it's quite important to get them in place. So now I'm starting to prepare the frame. So there's quite a large part of the frame to make up here. If you look on the magazine there, you can see there's 3 large sections and a rib to make up. So I'm making up the rib at the moment, and that's just 2 main bars connected with a bracket which has 4 tapping screws in it. I've taken to adding a little bit of super glue on each hold just to give it more strength. I noticed in the earlier ones there was a little bit of giving and taking it, and I didn't like it. It was too flexible. So I'm just showing it up with a little bit of super glue. This is why I'm just putting it to settle. All the tape seconds, but I think it's essential to do. And once one section is completed, I'll just put in the second section. I don't really have to worry about lining it up here because I've lined it up perfectly on the first point, so it says enough to line it up. As you can see there, I'm using the super glue, and it's just a tiny little bit I'm using just to bond the head really to the bracket plate. And now for the main sections, and these get attached to the previous rib that I placed on, and much the same as always, just some screws holding it together, putting them in loosely first, then tying it all up at the end. And once that's all done, then I can place in the rib that I just made up. Now this is getting quite large now, and they've provided a jig for the framework to sit on, which is quite handy because you don't want this frame to start bending and warping. So the jig is just like a blister pack, and it's got a couple of foam studs on it to protect the frame, and it all interlinks into one big circle. They're giving you a few parts of these jigs as it goes along, but it's quite simple to make up. I'm just putting in these little foam studs, and then I just interlock the pieces together. I'll hold it with a little bit of tape as well, just to make sure it doesn't come apart. So I've got a few pieces of these to make up. It makes up practically the half of the main body for the metal framework to sit on. So I'm going to actually end the video here. It's quite a good place to end. I'll just finish up making this jig up, much the same way as you see me here, until it's all complete. Then I'll test fit the thing to see if it's going to be sitting on the frame, that is. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you subscribe to the channel? If you hit the notification bell, you'll be updated on this build and any of my future builds as well, of course. Hit the like button, and feel free to leave a comment. Also share the video if you've enjoyed it. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.